talk to many people that go to church lonely, sad, depressed, broken. And I talk to them about when they leave. And they leave lonely, sad, depressed, and broken. Talk to people. Maybe you know something. Maybe you've been in that place too. Maybe you've gone into church and you're like, man, I just feel so lost. And then you get there and then you leave and you feel as lost as you were when you walked through the door. I don't know if you know this or not, but the United States is the most depressed nation in the entire world. Think about that. We have more money, right? More food, more opportunity, more houses, more cars than anywhere else. And we also have the most depression. Why? Why could we possibly have everything that we would need? Why would we be so depressed? Because the disconnect between people. Think about this. I mean, we have things where we can talk to anyone we want in the entire world, but we're some of the loneliest people around. That is an eye-opening fact. And so you may look at me this morning and say, Greg, I know that you're talking about fellowship, but is fellowship even spiritual? And I would say if you've ever had a friend, especially if you were both building your foundation on Jesus Christ, someone that you know you could call no matter what. You could call when you're angry, you're upset, when you're frustrated, when you're ready just to scream at the top of your lungs. You could call them and you could vent. That kind of friend, if you've ever had that, you realize how spiritual a friendship like that really is. Friendship is important. And friendship needs to be an important part of this church and our church in general. There has to be relationships that are being built and friendships and fellowship that have actually taken place here. Now, I know, realizing that our country is one of the most depressed countries in the entire world, that probably sitting in this church right now, there's many people that suffer from depression. Maybe you're depressed right now. Maybe you go through seasons of it. Maybe you're just coming out. Maybe you're just entering in. For some of us that have never suffered with depression, we may not even understand what it's like. I read a great illustration of it in a book. I came across this quote, and here's what it said. What is depression like, he whispered? It's like drowning, except you can see everyone around you breathing. It's like drowning, except you can see everyone around you breathing. Listen, if you've ever felt that way, I want you to know that you can be here in this church, and it's okay. It's okay. You could be depressed. You can be upset. But what I want to promise you is that as a church, we want to do the best job that we can to make sure when you leave this church that you're not in the same place that you were when you came in. But I need you to come. I need you to help this process. I need you to take a step yourself. Okay? So if you've struggled with depression or you're struggling right now, we want to be here to serve you. I want to be here. The leaders want to be here to serve you. The people in this church, we want to serve you. But I'm going to ask you just to do 3 things. And if you'll do these 3 things, I promise you things will begin to change. The first thing is simply this. Will you reach out? If you're struggling with depression and you're here in this church, will you reach out and tell somebody about it? Will you just reach out and say, you know, I'm just having a bad day. I just don't feel right. I don't feel good. Will you reach out? And then when you reach out, will you get out of your comfort zone a little bit? A lot of times when we struggle with depression, what do? We want to close the blinds. We want to lock the door. We want to avoid everybody around us, right? I want you to get out of your comfort zone. I want you to reach out. I want you to say, hey, let's get together. Let's go get a coffee. Let's go for a walk. Let's hang out. I want you to call somebody on the phone. I know you don't want to do it, but you need to do it. Okay? I know you don't want to take that step, but I want to encourage you to take that step. And the third thing is just as important as the first and the second one, and it's simply this. Don't freak out. Okay? Don't freak out when the person doesn't call you back. Don't freak out when they cancel the appointment. Don't freak out when they don't respond the way that you want them to. Because let me tell you, 100% of the time, people aren't going to respond the way that you want. Don't freak out. But here's what I want you to do. Instead of freaking out, I want you to go back up to number 1. And again, I want you to reach out. In other words, I want you to find somebody else, and I want you to reach out into their lives. And I believe that if you'll commit to do these 3 things, to reach out, get out of your comfort zone, and not freak out when things don't go the way that you want, then what you're going to find is you're going to begin to build healthy relationships in your life. It's going to take a little bit of work, but I want to tell you, even if you don't have anywhere else where you can do that, you can start doing it right here. And if you're here and you've never suffered with depression or struggled with anything like that, when someone reaches out into your life, we open up a little bit. We let them in. Even though you got plans, we make a little bit of time for them. We let them know that they matter. We let them know that they're not alone, because that's what the church is all about. If they can't find friendship and life inside of the church of Jesus Christ, there's a problem. We are salt and light, and it's time that we act like that. Amen? Okay, so just want to encourage you. That's on both sides, okay?